Hi Math 5-4. This is the video for lesson 104 for Math 5-4, scheduled for Thursday, April 2nd. And lesson 104 starts on page 484 in your textbook. The first thing you will need to do is a timed test, which is test A, which is on page 208 in your test and worksheet book. When you complete that, and then have your parents check it, and I'll go ahead and get started with the lesson. Excuse me. Okay, lesson 104. Just as a little quick review, when we have a fraction like 3/4 or 7/8, we have the top number is named a numerator and the bottom number is named the denominator. Denominator starts with D, down starts with D, so denominator and down are how the trick that I use to remember that. So these are regular fractions. When our numerator is larger than our denominator, using these two fractions and just swapping them around, that is called an improper fraction. When we have an improper fraction, we have to do something to fix that, because that's not normal for the numerator to be larger than the denominator at this point. Excuse me. So we change it to a mixed number. Remember, a mixed number, an example of a mixed number, is you have a whole number and then you have a fraction beside it. That is a mixed number. Okay? So we're going to take our improper fractions today and change them to either a whole number or a mixed number. So let's start with, if I have the fraction, my first example, 13/5. If I was going to do this in pictures, I'm sorry, I have to keep clearing my throat. Okay, so if I was going to draw a picture for 13/5, I would draw some shapes. I'm going to draw 3 shapes. And I'm going to divide it into fifths, because that's my denominator. So I'm going to divide each shape into fifths. Okay, so I have each of these little pieces is 1/5, all right? Now, if I'm going to color 13/5, I'm going to go through and count. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if I have covered 13/5, I have colored, 13/5 there. This one is one whole. This one, I've colored the whole picture also. And this one, I've colored a fraction of the picture. So let's see what I've covered. There are 5 pieces total. We know that because we divided it into fifths. And I colored 1, 2, 3 of them. So then if I were to add that together, I'd have 1, 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2, and 3/5. So if I'm going to change 13/5 into a fraction, into a mixed number, it is 2 and 3/5. I can do that using pictures. Another way I can do that is to divide. If we remember, let's look at 13/5 again. Let's do it a different way, okay? So when I look at 13/5, let's review real quick over here to the side. This will be a quick review on division. There are 3 symbols to divide. There's the division symbol, there's the division box, and there's the division bar. This bar is also a fraction bar. So when I look at my division bar, I can look at this fraction back over here as a division bar. So 13 divided by 5. So another way to take my improper fraction of 13/5 is to turn it into a division problem, which the easiest way for me to do that is 13 divided by 5. So now it's a division problem, and it looks like something I've worked with many times. So 13 divided by 5, the closest I can get without going over is 2. Now my second step is to multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. My third step is subtract. 13 minus 10 is 3. Okay? And that I have nothing I can bring down, so I'm done. But instead of saying 2, remainder 3, what we're going to do is we're going to take our quotient. Remember, our quotient is our answer, 2. And we're going to put our remainder over our divisor. I'll write that out to the side. So we did our quotient was our whole number. And then we did remainder over divisor. 2 3/5. Okay? So you can use a picture to show how it turns into 2 3/5. And then you can use division just to work it out if you don't want to draw the picture. Okay? So let's go to another one. Let's look at the fraction 12/4. And I'm supposed to change that. As we see, it's an improper fraction. My numerator is larger than my denominator, so I have to fix this. And so I can draw my picture, which if I did that, I'm just going to draw circles and go from there. And then I need to divide my circles into fourths. So divide each one into fourths. Let me get a different color. So I have every circle divided in fourths. Now I need to color 12 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I colored one hole, and then this I've colored another hole, and this I've colored a third hole. So that would equal 3. So if I was to change 12/4 from an improper fraction, my answer would be 3. Let's look at that in division. Remember this bar we talked about, it means 12 divided by 4, okay? Which is the same as saying 12 in a division box as your dividend and 4 being your divisor. Let me write that over here. Dividend over divisor. And it goes in the box like this. When it goes in the box is dividend under the box. And I'm not going to have enough space. I'm going to write divisor this way. Divisor. Sorry, I didn't leave myself enough space there to write that well for you. So the divisor's out and the dividend is in. So we go back to that dividend, 12 divided by 4. And we know that 12 divided by 4 equals, which is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract, and we end up with 0. So to change the improper fraction of 12/4, we divide out and we find our answer is 3. Okay? So to change an improper fraction to a mixed number or to a whole number, as we see it can be a whole number. Our first one went to be a mixed number. Our second one became a whole number. To do that, we divide the numerator divided by the denominator to get your answer. Okay, let's do one quick practice problem. I am on, let's see, practice problems are on page 486 for this lesson. Okay, let's look at, I'm reading the instructions. It says change each improper fraction to a whole number or to a mixed number, and then draw a picture to show that the improper fraction is equal to the number you wrote. So that's what I've been doing here. On this first example, I drew my picture first, and then I divided it to show that 2 3/5 was equal to 2 3/5. Okay? So let's do letter C. Let's work on letter C together. Again, I'm on page 486. Letter C is 8/3. So my instructions tell me to change it to a whole number or mixed number and then draw a picture. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through and do division. Remember, this is my numerator divided by my denominator. So 8 divided by 3. So I'll go 2 times 3 is 6, subtract, and I end up with 2. Remember, we take our quotient is our whole number, and then our remainder is 2 over our divisor, which is 3. So that's what I have as my answer. Now I have to draw a picture and see if that works. So I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to draw rectangles, because that's pretty easy. And okay, I'm going to divide it into 3 pieces each rectangle. Oh, I did it right. Sorry, I second guessed myself for a minute there. Okay, so I have my rectangles. Each rectangle is divided into thirds. So I'm going to come in and I need to color 8 pieces of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here I have a whole one, a whole number colored, excuse me. Here I have another whole colored. And here I have a total of 3 pieces, but I only have 2 of them colored. So when I add that together, 1 plus 1 is 2, and my fraction of 2/3. So that is your answer and how you should work A, B, C, and D for your practice problems on page 486. There'll be more videos coming for lessons 105 and 106